Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys 1/6 scale Star Wars event exclusive figure unboxing and review. Today we're taking a look at 000. Now I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. I have popped a link to their site in the description below, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you do decide to buy from them. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new Hot Toys Star Wars figure review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, the grey and black colour combo with the metallic foil Star Wars logo works perfectly for 000. We have an image of him front and center, wearing his torture droid hand, and his red eyes are glowing ominously. Then on the glossy wraparound banner, we have another image of 000, wearing his other torture droid hand. Going with gold for the accent color, then having this star field in the background for the banner, isn't something we've seen from them before, but I do like it. On the side of the box, the wraparound banner continues to, well, wrap around, and we have another product shot. It seems they really enjoy a pointing pose. It is similar compared to what we saw on the front of the box, but the placement of the left hand is slightly different. Then around the back, all of the boring stuff. Warnings and legal information. Ooh, okay, Hot Toys, that's a dope piece of artwork. 000 up front with Vader looming large in the background. Honestly, I would like to have that as some kind of poster or something. So if you'll remember back to the Return of the Jedi C-3PO review, I specifically said that that was probably not the last time Hot Toys were going to use that mold. They typically don't invest in a mold, especially for a die-cast figure, if they're not going to get their money's worth out of it. But I did not expect this. I thought Empire 3PO maybe, or another prequel trilogy 3PO that's not based off Attack of the Clones. This was a surprise, but a welcome one. First in-hand impressions. This looks gorgeous, and he's extremely heavy. What we are going to do now, though, is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box, and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first, which is done in the typical Hot Toys rectangular Star Wars style. It's just generic enough that it could literally be anything. This could be the flooring of a Star Destroyer, inside the Death Star, or maybe an interrogation room. There is some silver dry brushing on the high spots for the panels though, and I do like that. Around the front, Star Wars and 000 on the etched nameplate, and up top, an adjustable crotch grabber, which is wider than usual for the scoop to accommodate the C-3PO mold. So we'll start off with the most boring hands first. He does come with some C-3PO hands, just the pointing gesture ones. Do watch out for these little spikies. They are made of plastic and they feel quite fragile. For now, I am struggling to decide which of the cooler sets of hands to display him with. One thing's for damn sure though, I am not going to be using the pointing gesture hands. The lightning effects are done in this rubbery translucent plastic, so they're not going to break on you. And they've hit the inner part of the palm and the tips of the fingers in a metallic blue paint. So it kind of looks like some object source lighting. It's supposed to look like the lightning is casting a blue glow onto the fingers. Of course it isn't, it doesn't light up, but it's a really neat effect. Then again, now that I'm seeing these up close, the detail is just next level. We have different sculpt work on the left palm versus the right, and every single finger has a different blade attached to it. And some of them don't even have blades attached to them. We've got a flamethrower on this side. It's done in translucent plastic for the flame effect and some darker orange shading at the bottom. Whereas on the other, we've got a frickin' buzzsaw for crying out loud. And none of the blades are clean. You can see how shiny they are, but there's some speckling of brown schmutz on the surface, which could even be dried blood, which is straight up nasty. What we are going to do now, though, is get 000 himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. This is how you do reuse. It's a very clever and unique way of getting your money's worth out of a 3PO mold. If you told me before this figure was announced that they were working on another protocol droid using the C3PO mold, my mind would have gone to either like an Empire 3PO or maybe a red armed Force Awakens version. There is no way that I would have ever thought Hot Toys were going to make Trip. I am so glad that they did though, because this figure is going to stand out in the display for all the right reasons. An evil, red-eyed, interrogation-handed C-3PO, done in this color scheme with the pearlescent metallic finish, and with him being die-cast, and with the mold being as accurate and as detailed as it is. This is a sensational release. It's not only a great exclusive, it's also a brilliant figure in its own right. Up close and personal, kicking things off with 000's head sculpt. Or should I say, C-3PO's head sculpt. Because this, from head to toe, is C-3PO. Except for the hands, well, some of them at least, they are new molds. Some people are going to like that because the C-3PO mold is bloody beautiful, but some people aren't, because it is a lot of reuse. The sculpt work for the head is sharp all the way around, including the detail work at the back, but you do want to watch out for the little dongle up the top. The head is made of plastic, including that dongle, whereas other pieces of the armor are made of metal. Now, his eyes are currently illuminated, but you're probably noticing they are dying very, very quickly and on camera. So thank you, Hot Toys, for proving the point to me and everyone else that button cell batteries continue to be terrible, but they continue to use them. While they're bright, the eyes look great. They're this vibrant red color, and you can see the 3 dots behind the real metal grille plus the main central dot in the middle. I would have preferred a painted faceplate option with the eyes looking like they're illuminated rather than only relying on LEDs. Around the back, it's still C-3PO. We've got the box with the sculpted little panels and the wires, which are actual rubbery separate pieces of plastic, so if you want to move them around and adjust them, you totally can. Okay, so what's not C-3PO? Well, the hands for one, but we'll get there. Most importantly, the paint applications. And they are the standout feature for me. The gunmetal that is already shiny in its own right, topped off with the color shift blue that changes from the darker blue to a purple, and the yellow that changes to orange, and the lighter blue that changes to green. I can't get over how good this guy looks. As light bounces off the surface, it just gets more and more visually interesting. It's almost like how RoboCop should have been painted. So knowing now that they can do a color shift pearl, yeah, I would like to see them using this style of paint application process more in the future. And it feels durable too. I don't think any of this stuff is going to scuff off when it comes to posing. So he does retain the moving pistons just like C-3PO. If you've never seen a Hot Toys C-3PO before, the pistons actuate and they move on these little tracks just to give you as much range of motion as possible. Then we get to the hands. So they are an asymmetrical design, of course, with the fingers being different from one side to the other, but the palms are also different. On the left side, it's a little bit more detailed, whereas on the right, that just looks like a standard C-3PO hand. I'm not sure as of yet if I'm going to go for these or the lightning effect ones in my display. Because, come on, you can't tell me that that doesn't look sick. Having lightning coming out of Murderbot C-3PO's fingers? I don't mind if I do. And because of how this guy is painted with the metallic blue hue on certain pieces of armor, it almost looks like the lightning is casting a blue glow on 000. I know that that's just his color scheme, but still, that's how it comes across to me. Now, his ab section is still made of all these individual wires, which you can move around, just like we saw for the back section. The legs are an asymmetrical design, and they're the exact same as C-3PO's. So that means pretty much no range. But the detail is great. We've got different line work from one side to the other, these sculpted in Phillips head screws, which aren't real, so please don't try and use them, and the bits that hang off the outside of the knee joints. These are made of plastic, so don't apply any pressure to them when you're actuating the knees. Speaking of the knees, you do have some wires sculpted in around the back, but they're completely unpainted. I would have liked to have seen a bit of paint on them. I get it though, they spent a hell of a lot of money on all of the specialty pearlescent color shift paints for the rest of Triple Zero. And that goes for the legs too. We've got the gunmetal base color, then the shiny metallic blue, the orange that shifts to yellow, and that extends down to the feet. Whereas on the underside, we've got some sculpted tread, which is painted in black. For a quick side-by-side comparison, on the left, Triple Zero by Hot Toys, and on the right, C-3PO by Hot Toys, the most recent one from Return of the Jedi. They are the same height, and there are a ton of similarities. But they are both protocol droids. So, Hot Toys do get away with it. In the comics, the Dr. Aphra series, Triple Zero looks like this, so it's not like Hot Toys just cheaped out or anything. The wires for the ab section I'm also just now noticing are different between C-3PO and Triple Zero. Triple Zero has a different color scheme, he's also not chrome, the eyes are red, and he's got his Murderbot hands on. So for me, they are different enough that they look like individual characters. It's not like Triple Zero reads as though it's just a lazy repaint of C-3PO. Going with the Empire Vader, I think, is the right choice for this, because the Dr. Aphra series is set between the events of Empire and Return of the Jedi. As you can see, Vader is significantly taller than Trip. So in my display, these two, they're going to be inseparable. At least until we eventually get a Dr. Aphra, if that does in fact happen. Going over Triple Zero's articulation, starting off with the head sculpt. It's on a ball joint, and there's a ball joint at the base of the neck. Combined, looking forward to there, looking up to there, swivel and pivot side to side. The shoulders are on swivels, going forward and back, but then the top part of the arm is on a ball joint, so it will also go forward and back, in and out, plus you get rotation. The pistons at the elbows are real and working, and they slide on tracks for a little bit more range of motion. So you do get to almost 90 at the elbow. Then for the wrist peg, it's a standard hinge and swivel. The torso is on a ball joint at the midsection, and there's another one down here at the waist. However, the disc does hang down quite low, so it is restricted going forward, going back slightly further, swivel and pivot side to side. For the legs, kind of nothing. They will go forward and back a touch, and in and out a little. Ratcheted single bend at the knee, getting you to maybe 45. And then for the ankles, a hinge and swivel. Think a massive wrist peg. It's good for forward and back and rotation. Then, because it's plugged in at an angle, you also get ankle tilt. Moving on to the 3 cool and 3 annoying things. While these hands are absolutely beautiful to look at, the first annoying thing is all of these little blades and the weapons sticking out of his fingers, they are not made of rubbery plastic. These are made of hard, brittle plastic. So that means they are extremely fragile, especially these very long, sharp ones. So when you go to move his hands around, just be very careful. The second annoying thing is we're getting BT-1, a companion piece for this figure, and it does not have an LED light up feature. It's only painted to look like it's illuminated with a soft red glow around the big central eye. Whereas with this guy, we're still relying on button cell batteries and a single LED. That's fine, but I think they also could have included a swap out faceplate with the eyes painted to look like they're turned on. The third annoying thing is the only alternate regular C-3PO hands that we get for Triple Zero are these pointing gesture ones. I would have liked to have seen articulated finger hands or just the standard open palm hands as well. First cool thing is the paint. I cannot get over how good this looks. The color shift effect with the blue that changes to teal and to purple, then the yellow to brown with the gunmetal base layer. All of it just works so well together. The second cool thing, all of the new sculpted pieces. While the hands are fragile, I don't really care about that. As long as you're careful, you're gonna be fine. I mean, just look at the sculpted detail even on the inside of the palm. Not to mention we also get these lightning effect hands. The third cool thing doesn't have anything to do with a specific feature on 000. It's more so the idea of this figure in the first place. Getting something like this just opens the door to a whole new world of possibilities for Hot Toys and Star Wars. We can now get comic book figures, video game characters. I know they've done some in the past, but more of them, please. And other Legends characters where previously, before this guy was announced being as out there as he is, I never thought I'd see the day. For a very quick bonus cool thing, I just now noticed that they went way harder on the object source lighting than I thought they did. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's when you paint the surface of something to make it look like there's a glow on it. You're essentially simulating a light up effect. So they've painted the fingers in metallic blue, there's even a little bit on the prongs that stick out over the hand. But this is my favorite example of it. They've also painted the inside of these blades to make it look like the orange flame is illuminating them because they're quite metallic. That's how it would look if the flame was emitting orange light. Wrapping up on Hot Toys 000, based off his appearance in various Star Wars comic books, but most notably the Dr. Aphra series. This figure is great. Is he perfect? Honestly, yeah, maybe. The only complaint I have is the eyes. The button cell battery thing is so dated. And this guy being a droid, you kinda want to have the eyes turned on all the time. So some kind of power transfer where you plug the base in via USB-C and power goes through it into the figure, seeing as though his legs can't really move anyway, I can't fathom why that wasn't possible. Maybe going forward, that's something they can experiment with. Everything else, I have no complaints. We already knew this mold was great because C-3PO is fantastic. The detail is sharp, he's nice and heavy because he's made of die-cast, but they've added in some new accessories. The interrogation hands are probably my favorite, the lightning effect ones come in a close second, and he's got those piercing red eyes. But by far, the standout thing for me has to be the paint applications. The way they have painted this droid is mind-blowingly good. The blue that shifts to purple, then lighter blue, then green, then the yellow that shifts to orange on top of the gunmetal. I could spend all day looking at this figure and I don't think I would get bored. The way light bounces off the surface and reflects back with a different hue is just so interesting. This guy is going to pop in the collection, no question. Now, I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. As always, do your own research, make sure you are comfortable before buying. I have popped a link to their site in the description below, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you do decide to buy from them. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.